Welcome back, trainers. So we just got finished with Swine Up Community Day, and before that we had Totodile, which for Alligator is amazing with that Community Day move. But it's time to move on to the big boys for sure, and that is going to be Gen 3, starting it off with Treecko, finally evolving into Sceptile. And yes, it's going to be quite amazing, and if I were you, I would start preparing with those Luckies. I mean, you don't necessarily have to. You'll probably find plenty of good ones during your community day if you're able to grind for the duration of the period, as well as have good spawns and possibly lured up Pokestops everywhere. But if you don't, then maybe you want to start keeping every single one that you get currently and trading them off, because this is going to be the best out of the grass starters. Trainers, and this just in, we're going to be seeing Latias returning to the raids starting February 22nd to February 25th. And you're going to be able to encounter a shiny variance. And that is what it looks like right there. So this is over here on the Leak Duck. I will be leaving a link in the description so you can go check it out. Although this information is going to be coming out everywhere, probably within the next day or so, even within your app. So you can check it out there as well. Quite amazing. Now, what do I think is really going on here with all these dragon releases in the raids? Because there's quite a few of them. It's inevitable because there are just that many legendaries that are dragon types. But we have yet to see the return of what? That one specific one that we all want. The one that's actually going to be the one you want to power up the most out of all of these. So you know who it is. That's going to be Rayquaza. That's right. In the shiny variants in black. And they're probably leading up to this. And they know how badly we want this. They know it's the best one. I mean, black Rayquaza, it's just completely amazing. Not to mention, its moves and its attack are the best out of all of them, right? Some other dragons, like possibly Dragonite, have a little bit more stamina, but that doesn't really matter. It's all about the attack mostly, although you can have a better time to survive if you have some of these other dragons, but it doesn't really matter. Especially Latias here, that's quite the tanky Pokemon, which we're going to go over here as well. But that's what I think is going on here. We're going to see a lead up till eventually Rayquaza. That's an easy guess, right? But exactly when is it going to come out? Don't know. But it seems like they're giving us all these dragon Pokemon before they do officially release it. Can we see possibly Latios coming in right after this? But who knows? Because you know what we saw with Kyogre. They released that in its shiny variants, and then Groudon was left in the dark, not to be seen in sight. And then they didn't release the shiny variants until months later, which we just now saw. And I, as a matter of fact, got myself one, and hopefully you did too. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking is going on here. Is they're leading it up to Rayquaza, and simple as that. So that should be pretty exciting. So expect this coming on the 22nd, lasting till the 25th. Shiny Latias, possibly within your grass soon enough. All right, now let's do a little comparison with all of the grass starters that we currently have in the game at the moment. So starting it off with Sceptile, max EP 2,757, attack 223, defense 169, and stamina 172. So it is going to have the highest attack out of all of them. Then we have Venusaur with a max EP of 2,720, attack 198, defense 189, and stamina 190. Then Torterra, max CP 2,934, attack 202, defense 188, and stamina 116. And then finally Meganium with a max CP of 2410, attack 168, defense 202, and stamina 190. So if you look at their typings here, Sceptile is going to be a pure grass type with a Mega Evolution going into Dragon and Grass. And then you have Venusaur with a Grass and Poison dual typing, and then when it Mega Evolves, it stays both of those types. Torterra does not have a Mega Evolution. It's going to be a Grass and Ground type, making it extremely weak to Ice moves, so that is something to take note of as well. And then you have Meganium, which is going to be a pure Grass type, which also does not have a Mega Evolution as well, which I would personally say that it's going to be the less desirable one and the one you should pursue the least for investing in. The ones that you definitely want to keep your eye on are Venusaur and Sceptile. Alright, so we're over here on Bulbapedia taking a look at Sceptile's move tutor moves. We can see Frenzy Plant, which more than likely that's what it's going to get. Pretty certain for that. Now, as far as the other moves that it has, it can learn Aerial Ace, which I would highly recommend. That's what you would want on alongside it. You could go Leaf Blade, but what's the point of running a dual Grass when there is another option there for coverage like Aerial Ace? Say you're going up against a fire type Pokemon and your grass moves are not going to be very effective, Aerial Ace will come in handy. Going up against other grass type Pokemon, Aerial Ace, yet again, will come in hand. Sceptile is going to have a Mega Evolution, which it will become Grass and Dragon type. And like we've seen with Ampharos, for its Community Day, it received a Dragon move. Oddly, that's very weird, right? Not too much. That's because it's going to receive a Mega Evolution in the future, Ampharos, which it will become Electric and Dragon type, therefore making that Dragon move very useful. And I'm pretty sure that's what Niantic's vision is right there. So, Sceptile currently has a great grass move as it is, right? So Leaf Blade is looking fantastic, but it doesn't have a dragon move. So Dual Chop, that's on the table. That is on the table. Dragon Claw, also there, which would be quite fantastic. And if we go down to the Community Day moves, let's go ahead and see what we have. Dragon Pulse, Dual Chop, and then Outrage is an option. So if it was to receive those, there you go. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And yeah, that's what it is going to be. If you're confused, if they announce it and they're like, oh, Outrage, Dragon Pulse, or Dual Chop, one of those, or Dragon Claw, don't be too puzzled. That's going to be because it's going to receive that Mega Evolution, making those moves useful in the future. So that is another option. So let's just go ahead and take a look at Sceptile. It is going to be pure grass type, so it's going to be weak to Bug, Fire, Flying, Ice, and Poison types, resisting Electric, Grass, Ground, and Water. So Sceptile, as it is right now, works magnificently in the Great League, in the Master League, and in the Ultra League. All three. Personally, I haven't really used it in Ultra League. Went up against it, but with its current moveset, it's just fantastic. So for the quick moves, we have Fury Cutter and Bullet Seed. So if you're matched up against another grass type, that Fury Cutter is going to be doing super effective damage, unless they're a dual type, in which they'll just be taking neutral damage. But still, Fury Cutter has some amazing energy gain, as well as Bullet Seed too, and you're going to be getting staff for that. As far as, is Bullet Seed a really good quick grass move? I mean, there's better for sure. You have Venusaur with Vine Whip, which is just absolutely magnificent. That's a little bit unfortunate that Sceptile doesn't have it, but that's okay. It's still going to be performing better when it does receive that Community Day move as a grass type Pokemon. For the charge moves, currently we have Earthquake, Leaf Blade, and then Aerial Ace like we just went over. Leaf Blade is something you're absolutely going to want to run. After Community Day though, you're going to definitely want to run that Frenzy Plant if it does receive that. I'm assuming it would. It'd be odd if it didn't get that. So once it does get its Community Day, Aerial Ace, maybe for a secondary move, although we've seen, you know, it's pure grass type, weak to fire, weak to poison. You have Earthquake, and then you also have Fury Cutter and Bullet Seed, charging your charge moves fairly quick with high energy gain. Bullet Seed not being the best around, but it's not horrible. It does have decent energy gain as well as Fury Cutter. So, you know, it could serve well for you going up against those specific types, although Aerial Ace is, you know, getting off a lot quicker and putting on a decent amount of damage in PvP itself. So if you do have currently a bunch of Sceptiles powered up with Leaf Blade and you're thinking to yourself, lovely, they're going to become useless. No, it's all good, guys. Don't worry about it. Leaf Blade is still a great move for sure. And you've been warned, though, several times. I've been telling you guys, don't evolve too many legendaries or Pokemon that are going to be receiving Community Day in the future. The ones that are the easiest to guess that are going to get the Community Day are obviously the starter Pokemon, and we're now on to Gen 3. So if you have a bunch of Blazikins and you powered them all up, you know, sorry for that, but don't do it anymore. Wait until Blaziken receives its Community Day, then go ahead and power a whole bunch up, because as it is right now, it's okay. It's not the best or anything like that, but it has amazing attack, so it's going to be really, really good once it does get that move. Blaze Kick, can we see that coming in the future for Blaziken? Or Blast Burn? Probably going to be Blaze Kick, switching it up. That's why I'm kind of just still in the back of my mind thinking, is Sceptile really going to get, you know, Frenzy Plant, or is it going to get a new move? We'll have to see, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever move it does get, we already know it's going to perform better than what it currently has. I'm assuming if it doesn't, then hey, all those Leaf Blade Sceptiles you have, you're good to go. Latias. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. It's going to be a Dragon and Psychic type Pokemon, maxing out at 3,510 CP, attack 228, defense, wowie wow, 246, that's massive, And then stamina at 190, so this is a tanky Pokemon with decent attack as well. It's going to be weak to Bug, Dark, Dragon Fairy, Ghost, and Ice-type Pokemon. Can you say Mamoswine? Let's go. Alright, and then you have resisting Electric, Fighting, Fire, Grass, Psychic, and Water types. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. It's not receiving a new move or anything, but that's okay because it has a great moveset already. But we will be seeing that beautiful shiny variants coming in, and I will most definitely be pursuing it so I can acquire it. So we have for the quick moves, Zen Headbutt and Dragon Breath. And then for the charge moves, we have Thunder, Psychic, and Outrage. Outrage being the most deadly one and the best moveset that you can put on it as well. Psychic is going to be obviously a good option too, because it's going to be part Psychic and getting stab from it. Psychic's a fairly strong move, especially in PvP for sure. Alright, and then Thunder is, it's Thunder. You could find that usability, I suppose, but more than likely you don't really want to run it. Alright, so there you have it. Pretty much, not too much to go over for this thing here. If you do decide to use it, what movesets do you really want to have? Like I said before, all depends on the team that you're running in PvP, but if you just wanted a good moveset right off the bat, Dragon Breath, right? Because we all know how good that is in PvP, just extremely OP. And then followed up by possibly Outrage, okay? And if you're going to, spend all that Stardust for that secondary move, Psychic is where you want to go. And if you don't want to run Outrage, then Psychic is where you want to be. Other than that, Thunder is, you don't want to touch that, right? Very briefly, we're going to go over counters here, but I'm going to make a separate video going over the full extent of what you want to use. So if it does have Outrage, you kind of want to stay away from your dragons, although you should be okay. But I recommend you go in there with fairies and your newly made Mamoswines, right? With both ice moves, right? And you'll be looking good there, as well as any other massively strong ice Pokemon, as well as Mewtwo with Psycho Cut and Ice Beam. That should be serving you quite nicely, especially if it has Psychic, because it will be resisted on that Mewtwo for sure. Giratina, it's Giratina. It doesn't have that much attack. It's just not something. If you were in there with a big group, feel free. Feel free. Alolan Exeggutor should be amazing as well if it did have Thunder and or Psychic, because it will be resisting the Thunder quite a bit, being Grass and Dragon type. Both of those are resisting that Electric typing there, so you should be looking good to go. Dragon Tail and Outrage is what you're going to want on your Alolan Exeggutors. And then you could also go up against it with your Dragon type Pokemon if it does have Thunder or Psychic and still be safe. Now Mamoswine is going to be safe no matter what. Alright, Outrage is just going to hit like a truck to anything unless it's a Fairy type. But this thing's fairly defensive, so it should be able to take the hits nicely. If it did have Thunder on the Latias, this is exactly what you're going to want to go in here with for sure. So I'm going to have to get out there and start collecting more Stardust to power a few of these up, just so I can maybe do a cool sort of trio or something like that. Possibly even a duo now with these monsters. But the raid bosses did receive that buff, so who knows how much tankiness that Latias has to it now. I haven't ran any sims, so I don't really know. Let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to read those up and respond to you. And there you go. Just a quick brush up there, right? So thank you for watching, traders. Get excited for shiny Latias as well as shiny Sceptile, which looks just absolutely fantastic, as you've seen from the images on the side of the video here, probably running throughout the whole video. So get hyped and get excited, folks, for the future. And with that said, thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.